and welcome to iReports here on CNN.com. I'm Kirsten Kloss. Thank you very much for watching. On today's program, we're going to be focusing on the gas industry and gas production, the distribution plants, gas refining, and the shipping of gas through pipelines, and more importantly, the effects that all of this gas processing has on the environment. And well, I have a special guest that's joining us here on the program. Elias Tobias he's a professional engineer registered in Canada and Brazil. And he has almost 30 years experience in engineering and has done a lot of work in the oil and gas industry. Elias is the CEO and founder of SafetyScan, and his passion is to promote safety within the oil and gas industry by advancing the use of modern technologies to reduce workspace injury, reduce effects on the environment, while also saving companies money. Well, Elias, thank you very much for joining us on the program today. It's great having you.
Thank you, Kirsten, to be here. It's my pleasure.
So, well, there's a lot of gas pipeline work happening. I mean, it's been really being pushed a lot over the past few decades to produce natural gas here in North America. And of course, these plants are starting to get older. And, you know, we recently had a correction in oil prices. I don't know if that's going to affect the maintenance on these gas plants or not, but there's always the concern about the effects of natural gas being released into the atmosphere and affecting our carbon footprint. What are your thoughts with regards to all of these plants, the aging plants, and what's actually happening? Is there a lot of gas being released into the environment?
So all of the readings that I can find, it tells me that there is a greenhouse gas effect by methane alone, which is natural gas. And authorities throughout the world, you know, especially here in Canada and the U.S., their concern and the regulations are going to get tougher, to my knowledge. And so, yes, there is a big concern, and where these leaks, whether they're intentional or unintentional, they should be detected. They should be quantified, so the industry and the regulators will know how much is leaking out and what are the procedures to fix them and to prevent they don't come back again. And I think the last word for LDAR, which is leak detection and repair, LDAR, there's a new term out there. It's called smart LDAR, which is using advanced technology, more specifically the optical gas imaging, OGI or infrared. And I've read a study recently done by a major, huge oil company that they found that the classical method 21 that was established by the US EPA is not good enough for this program, the way they're putting it together. And the alternative work practice, which is the EPA called AWP, the intention is to replace the old method by optical gas imaging, and it's the only one that they're believing it's suitable for the task of this new smart LDAR on getting tougher, on finding the leaks, you know, inspecting, finding, fixing it on a time frame, and actually reporting. There's a mandatory report on greenhouse gases in Canada and in the US, if it's yearly or depending on the installation. So yes, it is a concern right now.
So now, obviously, the large plants, like the very big players, they use this advanced technology that you're talking about because, I mean, every penny counts, and it really translates into increased profits to not have leaking gas, obviously. How would this affect the smaller producers? And is this kind of technology that you're talking about out of reach for the the small and medium player in the industry? I mean, at the end of the day, what it sounds like you're saying is that it's good business to take care of these kinds of leaks through proper detection. But how does everyone afford to do this in the industry?
Yeah, there is an impression, right? Because it's a very high advanced equipment that, you know, for example, one of the models of the equipment, if you go back 7-8 years ago or something like that, it was exclusive for military use. It was developed for the U.S. Marines or some of their military forces there. And then 8 years ago, it was made possible or available for civilian use. And, you know, the story and the sophistication of the method might give the impression that it is, you know, prohibitive money-wise. If you just compare how much is per hour, for example, yes, obviously it's going to cost more. The equipment is more advanced. The training requires more time, and it's very scientific. But if you take into consideration that equipment like that can make an inspection on a facility in a lot shorter time than the classical one, which the operator would need basically to go and almost touch every piece of possible leak source. This one, the operator is sitting on a tripod, and depending on the wind conditions, if it's little wind, for example, the operator sitting there can inspect and scan a facility, not even moving. So big chunks of the plant is done in one shot. So you get the inspection done with more quality, more accuracy, and in a lot less time. So if you then, by the end of the day, it's perhaps, or for sure, it's not that much more.
Well, and we're looking here at the videos of the of that equipment working, and it's quite amazing when the leaks do happen how obvious they are. And obviously they some of these flow down, some of them flow up in the air. I mean, it's quite amazing the technology that you're picking up all of this detail. So tell our audience, what do you think the future is going to yield here as far as modern technologies? Are these going to be implemented? Are they going to be required or mandated into the industry? And what are you seeing right now out there?
Yeah, what I see on things I read on my studies, that the EPA has in their website something written that it will replace the Method 21, and in a matter where it will become mandatory, or I believe one day the method, sniffer and soap bubbles, it's not going to be permitted no more. I think it's a natural evolution that we all go through as technology become available. And as for the future, we have, we're talking about the handheld, which is operated by a person that walks to the installation. There's new flavors coming out where already have context in the industry and business partnership with SafetyScan, where there's standalone equipment for certain types of gas. There's kind of a robotic type of equipment, which is a camera, where if a leak occurs, it will automatically detect that there's a very sophisticated algorithm that it will then flag the control room. And there's also the possibility of putting this equipment in a drone and actually doing flybys or going through a pipeline, or even checking the flares, the stacks and whatnot. So I see the future going in that direction.
Really, really interesting. Well, thank you very much for shedding some light on this. Obviously, everyone's concerned about the carbon footprint. It's a big topic in a lot of areas. There's a lot of new pipelines being planned. They want to ship gas all over the place. And of course, people are concerned about their backyards and getting gas explosions and all of these dangers. I mean, it's all a part of it. But the environment is key, and it's real important to have you on explaining a little bit of about the developments that are happening in the industry. Elias, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
So our guest today, Elias Tobias, if you'd like more information about his products and services, his website is safetyscan.ca. You can go check that out. And obviously, stay tuned. There's going to be some developments happening, obviously. Something coming down the pipe with the EPA. Sounds great. Well, anyways, you're watching iReports here on CNN.com. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned again real soon for our next program. Bye for now.